night, back at the Teed Up Indoors on Battleground Avenue for the Football in Focus show here on Greensboro Sports Radio and GreensboroSports.com. Jay Ramey with us again, calling The Rock. Jay Ramey, The Rock from Rockingham County. Jay, first of all, what's the inside news right now on the Reidssville Rams?
The Reidssville Rams. They had a few injuries. We've talked about it throughout the year. They caught the injury bug. They had a big string of bad luck, but their guys are coming back. There's still a couple injuries.
Harrison back now? Kendra Harrison?
Kendra Harrison is back. I saw him at the game versus McMichael.
What about Neal? Neal back?
Deontay Neal is not back. I have no word on him.
He's been out the entire year, right?
He's been out the entire year. Marquez Horn, I think he's a transfer from Page.
Wow.
He's still injured too. I think Al Lee is dealing with something, and Jeremiah Cobb, he's bruised his shoulder, but he's set to be back next week.
It's probably one of the biggest challenges they've ever had, I guess, over the years, all these injuries this year.
Definitely, because, they're usually a powerhouse. They've had some struggles this year with injuries, and they're still 5-1, which is a testament to how deep their roster is.
Yeah, and big challenge, too, first-year head coach Eric Teague dealing with all this, also being his first year in charge of everything, so he's got a lot of responsibility. Talk about the way they played in recent weeks. We haven't seen you in a couple weeks, so how's Reidssville played the past couple weeks here?
They've done well. They beat North Forsyth 28-7. They just beat McMichael 34-18, coming off of that really close loss to Eastern Alamance. And everybody that watched that game told me that they were really disappointed and said that there were a lot of missed opportunities. So Reidssville's been dealing with some injuries, and they could easily be sitting on a 6-0 right now. They're 5-1. Shoe-in for a playoff spot, and they should be very proud of themselves. A first-year coach having to juggle the injuries and everything, and they're still doing fantastic halfway through.
You think maybe a little overview side of this whole thing, maybe with a loss, maybe in some ways, we always talk about wins are great, be unbeaten, talk about the powerhouse record, but maybe that loss might have made them a little bit better team in some ways, a more prepared team as they go further down the road.
They're strengthened for anything. They're battle-tested. They know how to deal with, say somebody gets injured in a playoff game, they know how to deal with that.
Well, how about this week? What do they got this week coming up?
Coming up, they've got West Stokes, and West Stokes is 5-2. It'll be a tough challenge, but I think they can handle it.
West Stokes too, right? At West Stokes?
It's at West Stokes.
Pretty good trip.
All of the games in Rockingham are away this week.
All on the road, and Reidssville at West Stokes. And what do you know about West Stokes?
West Stokes, nobody in Rockingham County has played West Stokes yet, but I believe West Stokes is about to be playing McMichael, and I don't know if they're playing anybody else in the county, but I know that West Stokes is 5-2, and that's going to be a tough challenge. It's a conference game, 5-1 versus 5-2, so this is going to be a big matchup.
Yeah, everybody's going to give Reidssville their best shot, no doubt about that.
And Reidssville wants this win because, you look down the line of their last 3 games. They play Walkertown, who's 2-4, T.W. Andrews, 3-3, Morehead's 0-7. So what you're really looking for is a big game to improve your seeding in the conference playoffs, because this is the last team they're playing who currently has a winning record.
Here's a question for us, too, because I always think about this West. They kind of came on board within the past 15 years as a new school. So West, are they the Warriors? I think it's the Warriors. Maybe we need to know their nicknames, too, as far as that goes. I know Walkertown came, another Wolfpack. I think it's maybe the West Stoke Warriors. We'll look that up later. It's always kind of interesting these new teams come on, because the thing about it is a lot of the nicknames are all gone.
Seems like a lot of nicknames they're using 3 or 4 times. You'll see it a lot.
Good thing about the Southeast Alamance team, which some people confuse with Southeast Guilford, they came on board. They came with the Southeast Guilford Stallions. I thought it was pretty good. I heard that one before.
Like a USFL, the USFL champions.
Yeah. It's almost kind of like, too, what people ran into a few years ago, like this Providence Grove team came on when they were new. They used the name that hadn't been used a lot, the Patriots. So the Patriots is out there with New England, but a lot of schools did not use that name, other than I think maybe Charlotte Independence maybe used that years ago. But, new names, new schools, West Stokes. And West Stokes, I think, a few years back actually went pretty far in the playoffs. It's an established program as far as football goes there at that school.
I'll say a lot of good things about Rockingham County, but the names, you got the Rams, the Panthers, the Cougars. Phoenix is a pretty cool name, but
yeah, it was kind of neat.
They don't have anything way too creative.
I'll tell you one thing, back in the day, which I always go there, I got a good thing. Well, I got back in the day on my advantage. I got back in the middle days. Now I'm here with a current thing too, checking this out. But back in the day, it was the Madison Mayadan Falcons, which was not a whole lot going on. Madison Mayadan Falcons back in the day. So when they went with the Phoenix, I thought it was a pretty good jump for a new school and kind of give them a new image. Do they ever call them just a thought. We're off the subject. We're getting on a lot of other areas. They ever call these guys the Fighting Phoenix? I think Elon may go with that name.
Think about that
I
sometimes.
like that Fighting Phoenix.
I do too, because you got the alliteration going on.
It's almost like, I love the alliteration. I love that too. Like sometimes with Notre Dame, they still call those guys the Fighting Irish occasionally, which is good. So we got Reidssville this week at West Stokes. How about news on Rockingham County Cougars? How about we call him Jay Ramey the Rock. We also call the county itself the Rock. We also call Cougars. We call them the Rock. So
it gets confusing. We got a lot of rocks.
On the Rocks.
They've got some good performers. They've got Luke Strittmatter. He's really young. Bryce Baker. He's their quarterback.
Did he
Malik
split some
Bryant.
time with somebody else last week? Because I saw the box score on them. It looked like Baker played. Another guy also quarterback.
I'm not entirely sure, but I know.
Unless it was like the guy comes.
I know that Luke Strittmatter, when I went to their game versus Reidssville, Luke took some snaps and he did well at that, and he also got an interception his way on defense.
The weird thing is sometimes in those games you see those box scores and it'll be like a guy comes in maybe for just a couple passes. That was either a trick play or just something special the coach had cooked up. But I know Baker. Who did they play last? They played Eastern Guilford. Yeah, it was our county team. Guilford County went up and beat you guys. Beat your team 28-14.
Wow.
Was it 28-14?
Yeah, 28-14.
Yeah. And
we weren't happy about it.
That was a must-win for both teams. For Eastern Guilford, a definite must-win because they're trying to be on that record and that road to play Dudley for the championship later this season.
Rockingham, they're
in it.
I'm happy with where they're at. They're 4-2 right now, and all signs point to them getting at least 6 wins because High Point Central's 0-6, Atkins is 1-5. They've got 2 really big games against Dudley and Northeast Guilford, who have a combined record of 11-1, which it might be a tough challenge for them.
All that being said, I see Rockingham County a very good chance to beat Northeast Guilford. Northeast is 5-1, but Northeast is glad to be 5-1. They play some teams they could definitely beat. And you got Southern Guilford. Have they played them yet? You've already played them, I guess? Maybe.
Yes.
I know
45-0.
That was a definite winnable game.
45-0.
That number proves that true. But you got to win those games like that. And if they can beat Smith, they can beat Northeast. They've got chances against those teams in Central. That's 3 more wins.
And right now they're ranked 46th by Max Preps in 3A. So, it's all about moving up, but a winning record is...
It's about moving up and trying to stay up, or at least close to staying up.
And stay up. And it's definitely attainable. They should not be too worried. They haven't lost an away game, which is
really good.
Really important to look at, especially when that Northeast Guilford game will be away. And, it doesn't seem like that might be...
Northeast has got Dudley this week, so Dudley will beat Northeast. No disrespect Northeast, but just that's the way it is. That's the bottom line, what Stone Cold Steve Austin said. But they'll beat them this week, and then Northeast has got some other games in between there. Northeast is almost in the same boat, in a similar boat as Rockingham County.
Yeah, Rockingham's playing Dudley too.
It's like the old boxing term. Both teams are trying to stay upright currently, just stay standing like they are and keep improving.
And it's odd that an away game for Rockingham would be an advantage to them, but they're 1-2 at home, so maybe they want it on the road.
Going to be interesting. And that's the team right now you keep an eye on too, because they're the number 2 team, I guess, in Rockingham County among the 4 right now. What about you look ahead to them this week? Tell me again who they got this week. You may have mentioned already.
High Point Central.
Central, so that's at Central? Or at Rockingham County?
Oh, it's at Central.
Like you said, everybody's on the road this week.
Everybody. Except for McMichael's got a bye week.
McMichael's got a bye week. So Andrews and McMichael. No, Andrews playing Morehead this week. Right. There we go. We said that game was like a Saturday afternoon game.
Yeah, it's Saturday at 4 o'clock, which I have not heard of that.
Yeah, I mean, that's just like just sticking your hand in the box and pulling a card. We're going to play at 4 o'clock on Saturday. Just pull that out of the hat, so to speak. But let's get back again toward Rockingham County again this week. They're going against High Point Central, and it's at Central.
It's at Central.
Friday night at Simeon Stadium at High Point, who also shares the same stadium with Andrews, which is probably one reason Andrews. Sometimes what they do is they share the same stadium. One team will play Thursday, one team will play Friday at home. This year they're playing the Friday and Saturday matchup, so it kind of makes all that make sense. And this week you're predicting Reidssville win at West Stokes. You're predicting.
I think Reidssville wins at West Stokes, but I think it will be close. It might be a slugfest.
What was that game you picked a couple weeks ago? You were going out. You went out on a limb on a couple of key games.
I did.
A couple of weeks ago. That was the one game I thought. Which one game? Yeah, it was the NC. Was it NC Central or was it?
I think it was the UCLA.
UCLA and Central, I guess it was. Playing on the West Coast.
I wasn't close.
Yeah, but hey, at least you had the guts to throw it out there that time.
You got to throw it out there.
You get attention sometimes. So a win for Rockingham County, a win for Reidssville. You mentioned McMichael's off this week.
Yeah, McMichael's off this week, and then they play West Stokes. So at this point of the season, you see a lot of the teams in Rockingham County are going to be facing the same teams, and it's good because you're kind of getting an idea of what's going to happen.
And you mentioned McMichael's off this week. I think all the McMichael guys will be a carpool, or maybe even take a van or a bus. They'll be driving at the West Stokes to watch that game. They'll be at that game. And that's how you do that. You know, you're off that week. It's almost a coach's assignment. You guys are going to that game this Friday night, and be sure you're sitting together. Don't be spread out, running around going crazy or anything, making us look bad when you go over there. Go watch that game, check it out. And then you mentioned the Morehead and Andrews game Saturday afternoon, and again, Morehead definitely will be the underdog in that game.
Yeah, it's very important because Morehead, they haven't won any games this year. It's hard to say it any other way.
Happen? I thought this year they might find you look at your schedule before the season and during the season, you say, we got a chance to win at least maybe one game.
They've had 2 close games. Rockingham, they were a 2-point conversion away from sending it to overtime. McMichael, I was at that game. That could have gone either way. It was 28-34. The other games haven't been all that close except for their last game against Walkertown. But, you know, time's kind of running out. But one of the reasons I give is that they're super young, you know. They got the list of sophomores: Trooper Wright, Brock Blizzard, Roy Thompson, Dylan Shelton, Kenan Jones, Andrew Myers. Then they got 2 freshmen, and they started a freshman at quarterback. They haven't found their lead guy behind center yet. You know, it's been a rotating cast. I was talking with a player.
Names you mentioned? Who were the first two?
Trooper Wright and Brock Blizzard.
I like both those names, Trooper Wright and Brock Blizzard.
Yeah, they're both leading the way for the sophomores this year. And but I mean, I was talking to a Morehead player today. They don't even know who their quarterback is week to week,
right,
because they're testing everybody out, and sometimes you have to do that.
I'd put Blizzard at quarterback if he can play that back there, and Trooper at wide receiver. That'd be a good combination.
A Trooper's played quarterback some, but it's been a rotating cast, and once they find their guy behind center, they'll be on the right track.
Now, with you as a guy who's covering these games in Rockingham County, how many of these players, these different schools, you actually know, like they might be your friend or an acquaintance? How many of these guys you got contact with? Because you probably know some of those guys at some different schools.
Well, I'm going to early college.
You got the whole different school because you're at the early college.
Yeah, I'm at early college,
RCC,
so
yeah.
a lot of some of the people there are going to playing at different schools. So I can.
So did they have to play at the school in their district?
They play at their district. So early college doesn't have a team, so I get to kind of feel it out around everywhere.
You know, ask around, check out what's going on, get to know some of the guys at your school.
Yeah, it's all in one.
Yeah. It's all good coverage. And
you get some of that rivalry during lunch, you know?
So, yeah, especially on that big Friday night game. So the rest of the season, Reidssville looks to be the team to keep an eye on and close watch. And
always.
Rockingham County could be the up-and-coming team this year.
Definitely. They've made some vast improvements, and, you know, I think that they could build a team for years to come.
Since we didn't give them a whole lot of coverage, we just kind of glanced and those, you know, kind of going over the top of the circle. Go back and talk about Morehead a little bit more and talk about what their team chemistry is, what they need to do to try to win one game this year. And you look at their schedule, you may have to have it on your paper ahead, but teams they've got coming up, who they got the best chance to beat? Is there a team left on the schedule Morehead can probably beat this year?
TW Andrews, I don't know much about them, and then they've got a bye week, and the bye week is going to be good because they can prepare for North Forsyth, and North Forsyth is 2-5. They've had some close losses. North Forsyth lost to McMichael 20-12, and that's what I know from the county. I don't know if they've played Reidssville. Yes, Reidssville beat them 28-7. So Morehead's going to try and make it 3-0 for Rockingham County teams against North Forsyth, and they'll have an extra week to prepare for that. So that might be some extra motivation. So when you have it tough sometimes as a team, you often tell the coach or tell your teammates, we've got that open week coming up, that bye week. That's the team I know we can beat. We can knock those guys off. Yeah,
we got to win that bye week
because that's their 9th game of the season, and then they've got Reidssville, who's the county powerhouse. So extra motivation right there.
All the teams in your county right now are 2A, right? Is that right?
Except for Rockingham.
Rockingham's 3A.
Rockingham's 3A.
Because the couple dropped down. Morehead and McMichael dropped down to 2A.
Morehead's 68th in 2A, Reidssville's 8th in 2A, and McMichael's 45th in 2A. I've liked what I've seen from McMichael. If they can string together some really good games.
Might still be a playoff team?
Definitely. You know, their playmakers, it's wild. Hayden Meeks, Cody Oakley, Jaden Moore, Jace Dunn, Cody Peters, Michael Vasquez. The list goes on and on and on.
Right.
And they're 4-3 on the season, 3-0 at home, and they got 3 winnable games left that they could definitely improve their seeding in the tournament.
You think about it, I still like those names though. Brock Blizzard and Trooper Wright.
Yes, sir.
Gotta give those guys the names of the week right there. Good names.
Names of the week.
We're gonna go with Jay Ramey on some other stuff too before we close out around the bottom of the hour here. Thinking about Jay, did you happen to see that game last week? I called this the biggest play in college football last week. Biggest play in football. It was 4th and 16. You remember that play? Did you see that big play last week? The big 4th and 16
Who was
play?
playing?
I can't tell you. I want you to see if you did you know?
No.
So you don't know.
I don't know.
So okay, here's the game. You got Duke and Notre Dame. 4th and 16, and the quarterback.
Oh, I heard something about
It
this.
was huge. It was a turn the whole tide because Duke had that 1-point lead.
Who's your college team, Andy?
NC State all the way.
NC State?
Forever, yeah.
Did you go there, or?
Family
There's your team.
members did. Sister, brother, who's now deceased, he went to their uncle. He taught there, so it was all. But here's where I went to college at. I'll show you right quick. Because I got this in the mail today. This is my college right here. Got this in the mail today.
Liberty.
Yeah, and this is football letter winners. I was a football player. Actually, I didn't realize it until I started getting this mail to those guys. I actually earned my letter there in football, so that's kind of crazy. But since this thing in the mail today, we're supposed to attend this football's 50th anniversary.
Show that to
banquet.
the camera.
Yeah, flip it around here. Believe it? Yeah, that's it. We got the football's 50th anniversary banquet Friday, November
cool.
3rd. Can't attend that because I have a football game on. But again, 7 p.m. It's kind of neat.
What position did you play?
I was playing linebacker back then.
Oh, man.
Actually recruited, a lot of interesting stuff about that stuff back in the day. Actually recruited to be the all-time leading tackler for the school, but I did not go there prepared to play. I goofed off that entire summer, so
Oh, man.
kind of killed my chances. I could have been really good. But it's kind of
You
neat.
played D1.
Well, back then, more to that story.
Oh, don't tell the camera that.
Paul Harvey, the rest of the story. Back then, I'll just say that we were a smaller school back then, fairly new. But now, huge school. I mean, huge school. But yet, still, I got the thing about 10 years ago. They mentioned hard in the mail. They said, "Why don't you play in the alumni game?" I was at 10 years younger than now, still a bit older than college days. I gave it some consideration. That would have been kind of crazy to go play in that.
Wow.
But, you know.
My dad spent a year of law school there.
He did.
Then he transferred to Wake Forest.
Wow. Because interesting, because one of our leaders back in the day, Jerry Falwell Jr. actually attended law school at UVA and then came to Liberty and finished his courses up there, and he became the president of the university, and he was ousted he was kicked out by the university. We could talk about that all day long. Your dad probably has heard those stories over the years. But yeah, Liberty, very good football team coached by, I can't give you his name because it's kind of, I think maybe like Chadwick or something. He came there from Coastal Carolina. When Hugh Freeze left Liberty, Hugh went to Auburn because they played on Saturday against, was it Georgia? You know, Auburn gave Georgia, and Hugh Freeze, a former Liberty coach, is coaching now for Auburn. Before then he'd been at Ole Miss, came from Ole Miss to Liberty after he was kicked out of Ole Miss because of some problems he had at Ole Miss. Hugh Freeze came to Liberty, became their coach, and did very well. They had some very good seasons. It's a good football program, though. All said and done, good football program, playing well, and they beat Virginia Tech a couple years ago.
So if Liberty plays NC State, who are you cheering for?
A couple years ago, they played NC State. It was a 1-point game. I was listening to them on the radio. I've never had cable television. Forget it. I got a radio though. I listen to all those state games on radio. It's 105.7 station here locally, FM. But Liberty's got the lead late in the game. They're up by 3 points. State comes down, kicks the last 30-second field goal, wins by 1 point. I was pulling for both teams the entire way. Heck of a game.
How does that work? You cheer for both teams? You cheering for a tie?
I wanted to win for one of the teams. When the team that won, I'd be happy with that.
Hey, you wanted it to be a close game. No blowouts.
Yeah,
there we go.
It was a battle.
There we go. 1 point game.
Liberty,
That's a win for Andy Durham.
Liberty, NC State, great game. I wish they could play the whole. I'd like to see it over again on tape if I could. It was a heck of a game. But NC State, I've been following those guys for many. You ever heard of Lou Holtz? You've heard of Lou Holtz, I know. Lou Holtz. You not heard of Lou Holtz? Anyway, Lou Holtz coached NC State, then he went on to coach the New York Jets in the NFL, and he went on to coach at Notre Dame and all those great places. And Lou Holtz now on ESPN. I know you've heard of Lou Holtz. You saw him somewhere.
What is he?
He's a kind
Maybe if I saw his face.
He's an older gentleman. His son is Skip Holtz, who coaches college football too. So, but Lou Holtz was only at State probably about 5 years, but he put them on the map. Had a quarterback named Dave Bucky. His brother Don Bucky was there. They had Stan Fritz. They had Willie Burden. They had Roland Hooks. They had all those. Charlie Young. Had some great football players there. Plus Bill Cowher. You've heard of him, I'm sure. Yeah. Cowher. Man, this is great having you here. You gave me Brock Blizzard. You gave me Trooper Wright. I'm giving you all these names.
You got to give me some names. You got to give me some cool names.
So you got again Bill Cowher, who's coached the Pittsburgh Steelers to 2 Super Bowl victories. Super Bowl winner, Bill Cowher from Mississippi. He was a linebacker at NC State.
I'm a Cowboys guy.
Yeah, Cowboys guy, and they're playing well. They got a Sunday night game.
Oh,
Sunday night, they've got
I
the
don't
49ers.
even want to think about it. I'm too nervous.
Who will be your last unbeaten NFL team? Will it be Philadelphia or San Francisco? Who lasts the longest is unbeaten? The 49ers or the Eagles?
You can't give me that question. I'm a Cowboys fan.
Well, you've already lost yours, so you're not
Yeah,
in this
but
one. What do you think?
I don't like the Eagles because I'm a Cowboys fan.
So what happened Sunday night?
And if the 49ers beat if I say the 49ers going unbeaten, I'm saying the Cowboys are going to lose.
It's got to be Philadelphia, the last unbeaten team, because you know your Cowboys will beat the 49ers Sunday night, right?
This hurts.
Yeah.
This really hurts.
Yeah, we're working on you.
I guess the Eagles.
Okay. The Eagles.
Wait. I'm going to say Eagles play earlier that day. 49ers will be the last unbeaten team, but they're both going to lose.
The same day.
Both going to lose.
Had a play in yesterday's middle school game. You've seen one like this before. The play was Allen Middle School, which one of our associates, Niall Harris, on our broadcast, he's assistant coach at middle school. Anyway, the play was Allen Middle facing a 3rd and 55 yesterday.
3rd and 55?
Yep, 3rd and 55. They'd never seen that one before. And they went for it and didn't get it, but then it became 4th and 52.
What down was it?
Third.
I mean, not what down was it. What time was it in the
It
game?
was 4th quarter.
Were they losing?
They were down by 6.
Oh.
But they went for it on 3rd and 55. They also went for it on 4th and 52. The middle schools don't punt. They don't punt. They
don't punt.
They punted one time in the game yesterday.
You know, in Rockingham, you won't see too many punts, and the games I've covered, I haven't seen a normal one yet.
Gotcha. It's about normal, abnormal. Where will you be tomorrow night since your team's all on the road this week?
You know, I'm thinking about getting some interviews. I'm not entirely sure what I'll be doing.
Might be like in a little control center.
Yeah.
Keeping up everything.
A control center.
There you go. Jay, good job.
Keeping
tonight.
up with the scores.
We'll let you get out of here and move
Thank you,
on.
Andy.
Did a super job. Football in Focus at the Teed Up Indoors. Jay Ramey, The Rock from Rockingham County, will be with us again, hopefully in the future, maybe next week or the week after. He'll cover all the teams and be on GreensboroSports.com on late Friday, early Saturday afternoon. He'll be there for us. Thank you, Jay.
Thank you.